Very good day to one and all. Today we're talking about a very important and latest development, a revolutionary change brought about by the Government of India, which is the latest new single income tax form or the ITR form. Ladies and gentlemen, generally and traditionally, we are used to having 7 ITR forms. The current structure of the income tax is you're a business person, you're a salaried person. I run a company, I may run a trust. Each of you have different types of entities. Therefore, each of you have different kind of requirements as to what return of income needs to be filed. So it's fair to say the current income tax filing structure is very complex because there are 7 income tax forms. It would be simple if I could say, if you're a salary person, just file ITR 1. But that's not the case. As you can see on the screen, just even a salaried person has to see so many things. Are you a salaried person? Yes. First, are you a resident? Yes, I'm a resident. Do you have total income up to 50 lakhs? Yes. Do you have a single house property? No, sir, I have two house property. Then you cannot file ITR 1. You must go to ITR 2. Do you have any business income? No, sir, I am not doing any business. Any commission you are getting? Yes, I get some commission. I have a car. I let it out for some leasing work. Then you are a business person. You have to file ITR 3. Or I am a salaried person who's earning just 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs. Maybe I am a retired person. Can I file ITR 1? No, sir, you have capital gains. You have sold one share. That means you have to file ITR 2. It may even be a loss. In many of the cases, it may be simply a loss. But then, if you don't file the proper ITR form, please note in the current structure, the return that you file itself is entirely invalid. It is as if you have not filed a return of income at all. So, therefore, it's fair to say with 7 income tax forms, it's highly complex, it's highly challenging. And if I miss filing the return of income in the correct form, the challenges that are posed after that are sometimes highly tiresome, or it takes a lot of time to get a relief from the a remedy for an issue which could have been easily fixed. So therefore the Government of India and the CBDT have now proposed a very revolutionary change, which is a single income tax return form. So what you saw in the previous slides, there were 7 ITR forms. Now they want to merge everything and make it a single form only for trusts and charitable societies or institutions, medical colleges, etc., who have got a registration. For them alone, due to some onerous requirements, they are kept separately on separate form. But every other person, whether I am a salaried person, whether I am a capital gains I have, maybe 10 house properties I have, I am doing business, I am a company, I am a partnership firm, it does not matter. Everyone now has a single ITR form. So, what are some of the key changes in this ITR form that we must be aware of? Now, the first most important point in the new ITR form is that there is going to be a wizard. When I say a wizard, that means there is a tool which is going to ask you questions, and step by step, it will guide the person as to what return has to be filed. Naturally, your question may be, sir, if I am a company, then the requirements are completely different from a salaried person. So if you are telling me it's a single form, then should I fill up all the details which are required for a company? It's not required at all, because you have a wizard to guide you. The moment it asks you a question, are you a salaried person? You click yes. Every other schedule which is not relevant to you will never be shown at all. You need not even worry. You don't even have to skip it, because automatically it will be removed by the single ITR form. It's an excellent step in giving you a guided tour so that you can file quickly your return of income. And the very great thing is the details are going to be pre-filled. A lot of the information is going to be pre-filled by the income tax department. So therefore, all you have to do is check out what is not filled, try to understand it, any exemptions, claims, deductions you want to claim, ensure you input that, claim it, and just simply file your return of income. But other than this, for persons who were filing in different forms earlier, what are the critical changes in the new ITR form? There are some important changes where new information is sought by in the single ITR form. So the first most important thing that they seek for is in house property. You may be aware that if you have a house property and if you have a borrowing on such a house property, then the interest paid on the housing loan can be claimed as a deduction under section 24. Now, this deduction, you simply had to fill the amount and then you could just claim it, close it. Now, under the new ITR form, these are the certain details they require. They need the name of the lender, PAN of the lender, address if it is available, amount of capital borrowed, and what is the loan outstanding. The key point to note here is sometimes getting the PAN may be difficult. I could have borrowed from HDFC, SBI. Where will I go and get the PAN? If I ask SBI for my bank statement itself, they don't give it on time. If I have to go and ask them for their PAN, I think it will be impossible. Many people may be not so forthright in giving their PAN details. So, therefore, this is something which has already been represented and in consideration. The next challenging thing here is the balance of loan outstanding. And I have seen this firsthand where many private banks they do not make the information of what is the loan outstanding available even for the own customer. I may have taken a loan from the bank, but the bank will never show what is my outstanding as on a date. It's very unfortunate. Why they do it? Only they know the reasons. They don't want to reveal too much to their own customer. The person who has borrowed the loan itself, they don't want to make the information available. So they have to put in a request. It will take 4 to 5 days for the bank to get back to them and give them their closing balance. So what is your balance payable as of today? 4 days later, I will send it to you. So if you are someone who's filing the return of income in the last minute and you have to fill this detail, it may be very, very challenging. Once again, this has been represented and it is already under supervision. The government are considering how to modify this and make it more effective. Now, cryptocurrency is going to be taxed. The last budget has very clearly told how the taxation will be, and the new ITR form incorporates the same. These are the details you will have to fill. What is the income from the transfer, what cost you got, and the final tax rate, which is a fixed at the highest rate of 30%. So no matter what your slab rate is, no matter how much basic exemption, all that we don't care. You have to put and tax it at 30% of any profits that you're getting. And of course, you may be well aware, loss is not available for set off when it comes to your cryptocurrencies. Bad debts. Now, bad debts is a figure that you are not able to collect a debt. So then you write it off, you claim it as an expense, and you claim it in your profit and loss account. Under the new ITR form, there is a requirement now that the details of the bad debts has to be furnished party wise in the income tax return itself, where the bad debt is in excess of 1 lakh. This is in order to control people who are simply saying, sir, I have so many bad debts. Everything is bad debt, sir. Every sale I made is bad debt. So therefore, how does a department track you? This is the best way, where now they're asking name of the person, address of the debtor, and PAN of the debtor along with the amount. So you have to furnish this if there's any single bad debt in excess of rupees 1 lakh. Details of employees. If you are a person with a recognized provident fund, you're an employer who has a recognized provident fund, then you have to furnish the details of your employees of the company deployed in India, outside India, etc. All these details have to be furnished. Very, very interesting thing now. Whatever details were collected in the tax audit report is now being collected upfront in the income tax returns itself. Now, in your ITR form, you have to fill out the details of your foreign remittances made. Now, this is another practical challenge because sometimes you may be taking services from companies like, you have these companies like Fiverr, which give simple services. I want to design a logo. I want to design this. You give me interior design for a very cheap cost you're finding online, and you make the payment outside India. This would also be considered as a payment made outside India or a receipt received from outside India if you are providing the service. But now they require the furnishing of the same. So you have to give the breakup as you can see on your screen. What are the books of accounts maintained? So now what I told you, you'll normally furnish in the tax audit report. Now this has to be filled in the ITR form itself. So whether I'm maintaining cash book, bank book, ledger, day book, others, if I'm a person who's in legal, medical, engineering, specific books which have been prescribed. If you're a medical person, then you should have a patient list. So all these details are sought for now in the ITR form itself. Impact of ICDs. Another thing which was normally corrected in your tax audit report, ICDs wise, what is the impact on your profit or your loss accordingly has to be furnished in the ITR form itself. What are the changes pertaining to capital gains? Not many changes, but one very, very important change where I am now selling an asset which I have acquired either as a gift or a will or a settlement or a partition of a HUF, etc. I have to furnish how I got it. Oh, I got it through a will. No, I got it when the HUF was partitioned. I got it as a gift. I got it as a settlement. All these details now have to be clearly furnished in the new single ITR form, which was earlier not required. One of the most important changes pertains to your agricultural income. The agricultural income, as I'm sure you may have seen in a lot of movies and read in the papers, a lot of wealthy people say, I have agricultural income, so I have exempt income, etc. Now the income tax is taking a very, very strong route for people who are trying to cheat them. They are trying to track the people. So what type of agricultural income do you have? What is the size of the land? What is the address? How is the irrigation done? Is it a wet land? Is it a dry land? How are you irrigating it? What are your receipts from it? What are your expenses? All of these details now have to be furnished upfront in your income tax return. Earlier, I would simply put one net figure, and then if the case is taken up for scrutiny, then I have to justify this. But now they want you to give these details right up front when you're filing the return of income itself. And finally, the most important addition, the very revolutionary tax which was brought about by our Honorable Prime Minister, the GST, has extended its impact across the country in helping tax collection, in helping bringing people into the formal mode of your entire economy. And the GST reconciliation in the income tax returns is going to be something which will be once again very, very important. Now when you're showing your turnover as per income tax in your profit and loss account, you have to tally it with your GST sales. And then if there's any difference, you have to ensure that you explain the reason for this difference in the return of income itself. So these are all the key changes and the latest developments in the single ITR form. I have no doubt it's going to be a grand success and a form which will truly revolutionize how people are going to file the income tax returns. Thank you very much and happy filing of the income tax returns.